Hi, I'm Wendell G. Welcome back to part 3 of the preview 2044, the review of the off-season 2043-2044 moves and rearrangements. And we're going to start on the South League now. We'll do a two-part series here on the South. And what do we got here for February? We got some minor league contracts. Jung Stick Kim, 40-man roster, John Kim. John Kim claimed off waivers from Kabul. I like this pickup by Australia. Claimed off waivers. The guy is cheap, $1.5 million. He didn't get the job done for Kabul, but I think the main thing was Kabul just wanted to get him off the 40-man roster. That was a good pickup by Australia. International amateur, they picked up a couple of international amateur free agents, IAFAs. Danny Rodriguez for $1.3 million and Evan Bergmans for $1 million. These are really good gets, and it became clear this year that especially the starting pitchers command about $1 million to get a starting pitcher prospect, a decent guy who has WBL potential like this. So let's see, some promotions in the international complex. These guys, international complex guys, when they turn 20, they'll be automatically promoted to your single A club. It looks like NML was active on moving these guys up himself. And there's no problem with moving them up into single A, yourself or wherever. You can take them from international complex straight to your WBL team if you want, but they need time in the farm system to cook down a little bit. Some bullpen help, cheap bullpen help, backstop help. It's like DLS came off the injured reserve, maybe. Oh no, he was in a trade. Okay, so Theory Charles and Juan Ortiz went to Cairo in return for DLS and $7 million cash. And there were draft picks involved in this as well. This guy, Theory Charles, I looked at him really strong. In fact, NML sent me a PM about him. Would have liked to have been on the sweepstakes, but I'm pretty well set at catcher, and I'm playing around with this whole catcher ability thing. So with my pitchers to try and see if that's going to make them better. Juan Ortiz was part of the package deal. Fine-looking defensive center fielder, especially. Decent with the bat. A lot of money, though. And DLS brings a ton of contact. He has fallen off a little bit, age 31. He had a great year at Vegas, great year at Amsterdam back in 2040, but he's fallen off a little bit on the bat. And that old snarl, man. So that was February for Australia. Very active month for Australia. January, December, November. What do we got in November? Terry Charles, we were just talking about him. He got an ARB contract at 7.3. It's obvious Australia did not want to extend him, or he couldn't extend him, and so they went to ARB. ARB is sort of your last resort. If you don't want to keep a guy for much longer, or some guy wants outrageous money for a multi-year extension, ARB is your Jimmy, you okay over there? You okay, pup? You alright over there? Jimmy. My poor dog, Jimmy Sue. She's a rescue dog, lab mix. I've had her actually since she was a tiny puppy. She's been acting really, really old lately. And kind of worried about it. Anyway, where are we at? Australia. Yeah, so pretty active, especially recently with Australia. Good to see that activity. Who's next? Buenos. Nacho Buenos. A lot of activity here for Buenos. The Gauchos. They brought in free agent minor leaguer Torrega to 3 years. Cheap at $800,000 a year. He's 26. I was thinking he was older than that, but that's a good pickup by Buenos. Big blockbuster deal. Big blockbuster deal here. Let's see. Buenos received, if I recall, was this the salary dump? Edgardo Garcia makes a bunch of money. Yeah, $12 million. Elite closer. Beanpole's an elite closer. Age 29. And he'll go to arbit. How much is it? 15? 14. 14.8. Oh my goodness. But Edgardo Garcia brings outstanding closer to the Buenos bullpen. You know, people are talking about the favorites for the divisions. Man, I don't know. There's just a lot of, I think a lot of things equalize this offseason. Artax's another big money guy, $12 million. And I say that because, like Garcia at Buenos, you know, you never know what little thing, or in this case, Beanpole, you know, what Beanpole might take to, and suddenly a team wins 10 games more than last year. And which means another team, you know, other teams win fewer, which means there's a whole locked-in chain of redistribution of power around the leagues. Aaron Davis was a minor league prospect. So basically this was all about, and Bosch prospect, this was all about moving salary off of False Blaze payroll so they could bid for Bug Gigante, which we're going to get to in a second. International amateur Alonso Romano signed $410,000. I like that. Quite a few minor leaguers brought in to the Gaucho system. Here we got 3 more international amateur signings. Mark Rathwell, probably the headliner of this bunch. Draft pick in return for 19-year-old prospect Sergio Garcia. Good looking prospect. Fine prospect. Buenos also got a new scouting director here. December, November. Boards of Canada, right here. Minor league contract. Arb didn't hurt Buenos too much this time around. They let a couple of guys go that I kind of looked at. Baron, Dawood. Didn't move on him though. Orendane. Orendane's old, isn't he? Yeah, 36. Another fine defensive catcher. His bat has really lost a lot though. Hit 188 last year. Avoided Steve Paul with a bite of 100,000. That was a good void right there. No telling how much he would have cost. All right, that's Buenos. We're gonna split up Buffalo. What Buffalo do? Peter Nicholson, 3-year contract extension, total of $12 million. Closer. Oh man, look at these closers, man. We got some great closers around the league. 3 years at $12 million total. 5, 4, and 3. That's a nice contract. Currently making 2044. Currently making $6 million in 2044. He's 32. That's a good contract, in my opinion, for an outstanding closer. Bailey Gilliland was a extension, 5 years at 32, so about 6.2 per year, something like that. 6.4 per year, 6.5. Thrill Seeker. Second. Oh, that's a great extension right there. That's a great contract. 6.5 for Thrill Seeker for the Thrill. Let's see. Traded some guys for a draft pick. Lotto. Scouting director. Looks like he went through a couple. Brian Bays and Doyle Bennett, both. Yeah. Okay. I know that's the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes doing his machinations. Arb. Freddie Whitaker, 3-year extension for 5.4, total of how much per year? 1.8 per year, yeah. Yeah, the Wolf. Good extension by Buff. October retirement. Scouting director retired. Oh God, how long before was he? He was without a scouting director for a month. For the entire off season, Buffalo was out without a scout. Oh my goodness. I remember him saying something about it. Who was next? Cairo. Let's check out Cairo transactions. What's Cairo done in the offseason? They sent Leifson, got Wilkins in return. There was a draft pick involved here too, I think. Lee Chin and Orlando Grinaldo went to Amsterdam in return for Fari Kamar. There's sort of a Cold War going on between Cairo and False Bay. And I know Orlando picked Cairo to win the South. I don't know. I'll have to review the rotation and the lineup. This is a great bat for Cairo, but they sent Great Bank in return for this bat. Paul Chester's got a 5-year extension at $7 million a year. Ping, 5 years at $7 million a year. Ping is still a teenager. He's 21. Man. Ping. Wu Lee, 5 years at about $7 million a year as well. Fine starting pitcher. Really fine starting pitcher. Wu Lee, especially at $7 million a year. So DLS has sort of been a ping pong ball. He's sort of been a what do you call it? Pinball. A pinball bouncing around. Now he goes to Australia in return for this Theory Charles catcher and center fielder Juan Ortiz. Hopefully DLS will find himself a home soon. Back in November, nothing happened in January or December, but back in November, let's see. So Cairo signed no international free agents, I guess. Keyworth is still on the roll with Cairo. $56 million at 3 years. Wow, that's expensive, man. How much is that per year? 16. Well, I'm one to talk, right? Silky's still bringing it, age 34, 98 to 100 miles an hour. Still got it, man. So Cairo signed no international amateurs this year. Okay. Who's next on the list in the South? False Bay is coming up. Let's skip over False Bay for a moment. Let's go to Key West. See what Key West did. Key West had an interesting off season. They started off moving some arms to us, and now they've turned around and they brought in this big bat of Ryan Connor. I got Mark Coates, Cormac Kinman. Coates is going to compete this year. Got Doodles Farr. Tovar, 2 years at, wow, that's a big contract for, Gooksta must see something in this guy I don't see. 6 months. Oh, next year's a team option. Okay, that makes a world of difference right there. But still, $6 million. Okay, definitely a guy projected to the starting rotation there. Spronk, Anderton. Traded minor league center fielder Ken Hall to False Bay in return for Angel Ramirez, Sim Sawyer, and Adam McGee. I don't know what this trade was about. Ken Hall. Draft picks? Draft picks must have been involved. Gold Ramirez. Okay. Alright. Or maybe this was about moving this was about moving Sawyer's salary off of False Bay's payroll. That's what this was about. And some prospects went along with it. Okay. International amateur Jose Lozano, $330,000 bonus, cheap bonus for a pitching prospect. Heathcote, Aldridge for Heathcote. Heathcote, what's he looking like? We looked at Aldridge already. Heathcote looks good, 24 years old. Good bullpen guy. And Bailey Challen came over. We'll have to take a look at I want to look at Key West lineup here. And Munoz came to us in return for a first round draft pick, the 114, 16, 17, something like that. Plus catching prospect Ron Stanley. I had several of these guys in my system, and I just didn't have a place for Stanley. In fact, I had picked him up off the out of minor league free agency because I wanted to get a good look at him in my system. And yeah, Stanley's got value. So that was February. Let's look at December. Let's look at November. Gooksta's got a lot of cheap guys on his young guys on his payroll. You can just tell by eyeballing how many are at minimum wage. Yuta Mainaki. It's an interesting guy in the rotation here. He doesn't have any outstanding pitches. His splitter is a good one, but so his stuff is low, but his movement is great. His control is great. He's a lot like Biceps Wilkins, except with control and with passable stuff. That's a good cheap guy for the rotation. A bottom number 5 guy in the rotation, maybe. 1.4 whip for. This is a good. Look at this. It's a good cheap arm in the rotation right here. This is a value. That's a value deal. A value middle deal. And Rivas came to us in return for a draft pick or 2 and Morton Larson. I think 2 second round picks plus Morton Larson, something like that. Yeah, Larson, he's 19. He's got some undiscovered potential. Gusta has a really good eye for undiscovered potential out there. So that's Key West. And is that, let's see, do we just have one more? Let me think. Key West, Cobble. Did we talk about Cobble already? Cobble. Is Cobble in the South? He's in the South. Okay, so let's talk about Cobble. February, Cobble picked up some good international amateur talent, but for big money. So Cobble spent a lot of their funny monopoly money to get some of these guys. And I guess I'll just, when the international amateur free agency, when it was new to me, I thought, man, we're just a bidding war for these guys. It kind of offended my miserly sensibilities. But the reality is, you really can't carry over. If you have budget, you're not using it, you really can't carry it over. I mean, you can carry over some cash from year to year, but there was a cap on how much cash, at least in the UBL days. The owner would only let you have so much cash per year, and the owner would keep it as profit. I think that's changed now, but still yet, I mean, you got to spend your money on something, right? And so the international amateurs give us a chance to spend that money that we wouldn't otherwise use. Also, I mean, they give us something to play with in the farm. I'm a big fan of the international amateur free agency because it's ridiculous money, but you think about $15 million. What could Cobble have gotten in free agency for $15 million this year? Ryan Cooper, was he the most expensive free agent signing of the year? At $11 million. You could have basically picked up anybody out of free agency for this kind of money, or you could have made trade for somebody, picked up a lot of payroll. Older guys with big contracts. But this gives us something else to play with, and it's sort of an investment. It's hard to get talent. If you suck at the draft like I do, it's hard to get talent in your farm system, and this is one way to do it. All right, so that's so Cabo picked up 4 guys in February, and their scouting system's been active. Good, 4 more guys in the off season. This is weird. How come Yon Kim is getting a one-year renewal of $1.5 million? Maybe he was originally 1-year contract, a minor league contract, minor league free agent, minor league contract. This must have been one of those deals where it's a minor league contract with a major league option. I don't know, man. Kind of weird. Lots of young guys on the Kabul system as well. You can tell from all the $490,000 minimum wage guys. Arb came through pretty cheap. Oh, non-tendered Arb. That's nice. I like it when I see guys not doing that. Amir Leduc, 5 years at $22 million. Leduc, a little bit, $4.5 million per year or so. Bullpen help, listed as the closer. They got Julong Wang in return for $1.5 million. Good pickup. Good pickup. It's on the AAA system. All right, so that's November. So that was Kabul. I like Kabul's pickup in international free agency, international amateur free agency, and or I guess you don't call it is it an international amateur free agent? Anyway, Kabul picked up some good talent. That's a lot of money, but they had it to spend, so more power to them. Curious to see how things play out in Kabul for the next couple of years. All right. Last and not least, I think I've covered everybody, haven't I? Dublin, yeah, covered everybody. So let's hit False Bay. This was the biggest news out of the off-season. Ramal Gigante, Bug Gigante. He was the top-rated free agent. He's a shortstop prospect, and he has a really good looking bat as well as his defense. And False Bay, we had a lot of talk and chatter on the boards about Bug. In fact, I was in for Bug for $5 million, $6 million, but then I canceled that tender and used that money to go after some other guys in free agency. And particularly, I went after Cornflake, Kellogg Higgin. So anyway, Bug, so I couldn't, because I withdrew the offer for Bug, he wouldn't talk to me, so I couldn't see what his current ask process was, so I just had to keep up with it on the board. Bug got a $60 million bonus, and this is how Howard views Bug. Really good bat, good defensive shortstop, maybe a better second baseman than a shortstop. Maybe not the world-class defense, but the kid's 17, So be curious to see if this defense grows. It'd be a shame if he just winds up being a DH kind of a guy, but his defense will get better. So so Bug, contact and power, avoid K and I. He can get on base. His only weakness at the plate, he doesn't hit to the gap very well, which is kind of odd. He's a normal hitter. Anyway, 17 years old, a great find, a great addition to the farm system. But because of the penalty, it's going to cost False Bay $60 million plus $56 million, so $116 million. It's a lot of money. To set that up, False Bay the week before they moved Edgardo Garcia and Artak to get that salary off the books. That was about $20 million. So that's 8. That's 12 plus Garcia was 12. That was $24 million in contract they moved off the books. They also had earlier moved $8 million off the books in Jim Sawyer. So that was 24 plus 8. It's $32 million they had moved off the books in February. So they freed up free agent money that they could use to sign Bug. So that was at least $32 million out of the 116. Javier Villarreal signed. Oh man, for $4 million extension. That's a good signing. Oh man. Wow, what I would not give to have an outstanding shortstop in my system, in my roster even. Kind of late to the game though. We'll have to see. Just have to sit on my talent that I got right now and hope something breaks for me. So it looks like False Bay's got an active scouting system, picking up 4 international amateurs over the winter. 5 over the winter. False Bay does not have as many young guys. They let a lot of free agents go in the off season. Just looking for any names that jump out at me. The Kobayashi alternative. The Kobayashi maneuver. Star Trek. One of you Trekkies ought to pick up Kobayashi. Campbell. The big trade for Campbell. Singing Na and Nazwanov. These two guys are really good. Na and Nazwanov. I've talked about them in the Helsingborg segment. I like both these guys, Na and Nazvanov. Helga Orlando says his team got worse. No, it did not get worse. It got better. Sandbagging. So, let's see. False Bay extended Ben Abedin for 2 years at 5 point. That's a good sign. Man, look at that. Oh, man, what a great bullpen guy. We got some fantastic closers. Moreno signed for 1 more year for $5.5 million. 28 years old. Yeah, good catcher. I'll tell you what, False Bay's got some horses. They flat out got some horses, man. Ramon Martinez. Eric Stute. Stuttgart. $25 million man right here. I'm surprised False Bay didn't move Stute in order to free up more contract money to pay for Bug. But you know what? It'd be hard to release this guy. Look at this bat. Word. Wow. The guy's a decent outfielder too. Wow. So there you have it. There's a wrap on the transactions around the league. And I know these episodes kind of went long, but just wanted to explore those with you. And I'll be back. I'm going to come back and have a little bit more coffee, and then I'm going to talk about grade some papers, and I'm going to come back and talk about some off-season changes with particularly Moscow, and then maybe I can get another in-depth tour around the league. All right, guys. Yeah, life is good. Life is good. Have fun. Have yourself a fun day. And maybe I'll get another episode up later today. Oh, you know what? Let's. Can I sort by that? No, I can't. We're talking about that $15 million that Kabul spent. Look at that. The most expensive guy that left was Ryan Connor. $15 million would have picked up a lot of talent in the off season. Look at Key West being so active. I guess this is not the complete free. Is this the complete free agency list? Don't know. I'm looking. Am I listed? Yeah. Yep. I guess it's not over yet, but still, it's not a whole lot of free agent activity. I was really happy with all the free agents, quality free agents available this off season. Yeah, there were some interesting choices, and there's still some interesting guys still out there. Nobuhito, I really wanted to re-sign Nobuhito, but couldn't. Sung Young Koo, he plays better than his ratings, but he's 36. Another good guy for the rotation. Both these guys would be good for the rotation. I hated to let both of them go, but they both wanted ridiculous money for extensions. Would gladly have kept them both if they were reasonable. Who else out here looks good? Carlos Santos. Did not have too much of a problem letting him go. And Labib. Nichols really performed way over his rating for Istanbul last year. For Key West. Key West, a 3.31 ERA, 6-1 record. This guy, he had an outstanding year. Look at this year he had in Key West. He started 11 games. He went 6 innings into each one of the games. He went from Amsterdam to Key West. Oh, I didn't know he was a trade. Okay. He started 28 games while he was at Key West. I got you. His record, 6-1 record. He did yeoman's work. 1.34 whip at Key West. 1.7 WAR at Key West alone. Hand it up to Bob Nichols, the guy. He's 37 now, but he did a great job at Key West last year. I've been admiring his performance all year long. Just got a shout out to him Bob Nichols. Really enjoy seeing those guys, those sort of underrated, unheralded guys do well. News and log, major transactions. Yeah. All right, guys. So I will come back later with more. I'll see you. Thanks for watching. Bye.